Hello and welcome to UK GKTV. I'm Bill Voice and this is
Dave Nicholson. Hi guys, how you doing?
Got a few things to look at today, haven't we?
It's a busy one today.
It's been a busy week, hasn't it? And lots of people have been interested in the kits we showed last time.
It's been very, very successful, people have expressed a lot of interest in the stuff that we were doing, which is good, which is what we set out to do. Yeah. We've confirmed the show, so we know where we're doing. Yeah,
I mean, you sent me some more pictures in the week, and I was quite impressed with it. It's obviously in Staffordshire. It's in, what's it called? The full title is
Madeley Centre, Madeley, Cheshire.
Yeah. Now, it's actually quite easy to get to. So it's not like you're going to be driving cross country for very long. It's not far from
15 minutes.
10-15 minutes off the motorway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a really good venue. There's absolutely tons of parking.
Yeah.
The hall itself, the main hall, has a beautiful sort of wall of sort of French windows, doesn't it? Yeah. And there's plenty of light coming in. There's a massive stage, so it's just very well appointed. And food. There's food, which is whatever you want, really, isn't it? Yeah. So we're gonna probably put together some sort of idea for them what type of stuff people are going to be eating based on what people were eating at various model shows. I think we can imagine that, couldn't we? Because I don't think anybody wants to sit down and have any lark's tongues, do they? No. I think we're talking chips, burgers, and pizza or whatever.
Nuggets,
I think nuggets and stuff. Because it's hand food, isn't it? Yeah. We're not going to ask for dinner jackets, are we?
No. We can come in.
I mean, you come in cosplay if you want.
That's it.
Within reason.
There is a licensed bar that will open at 12 till 3 o'clock, the guy says, so if you want to drink and go out, there is a sun terrace in September. I don't know whether that's such a good thing.
Terrace.
It's
a cloud terrace. Moon bathing area.
So there is a place to go outside. There's a place to eat outside, in the foyer where you can go and you can eat and you can go back. They will be serving breakfast, dinners and drinks. So fingers crossed. It's the 28th of September 2024, and I'll put the flyer up very, very soon, but it's definitely happening. It's free to get in. There's a painting competition. Any traders that are interested, contact me. There's a few slots left. I've got to go through the other guys. I'll put you on the list. Display tables, you're more than welcome, guys. If you want to put a display table, contact me. I'll see if there's space. Let's make this one really work.
Yeah, modelling clubs as well.
Modelling clubs. Any modelling clubs?
Get a table.
Anyone that's interested on this time, contact us, and we'll see if we can fit you in. The bigger the better, guys. So it should be good. I'm looking forward to it now. I wasn't originally, but I am now.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of a watershed moment, isn't it? Really, because COVID's well behind us.
Yeah.
So today we've got some. I think you've been digging around in that really deep cellar.
We've got a bit of golden oldies. One's called Golden Oldies. Yeah. It's basically, last week we did new releases. This week we're going to do some old classics from the US side and the UK side. Now these kits, before we go any further, guys, let me just explain to you. Me and Bill don't work for the BBC, so we're filming this and we're trying our best. We spoke to techie guys about the quality of the pictures, which we are working on it. But we had this one planned before, so we're going to go ahead with this one.
Anyway,
But going forward, we're gonna see what we can do about them blurred pictures. I think it's the lighting in here. I'm not sure, but I'm not techie, guys, and we're not.
We're not techies.
We're not techies. We're just a couple of men talking about models. Yeah. So today is Golden Oldies from the other side of the pond and from over here, which kits that were classics when we first
they're classics. They're not for sale, are they? Because these are like vintage. These are mega vintage. These are the kind of things some of you might have in your vault, but also some of you might be interested in seeing them because maybe you didn't join the hobby till after they're gone, basically.
Yeah.
And this is a lovely famous kit. It's a famous kit, this, isn't it?
Great one.
Okay, this is the box. The box doesn't obviously do it justice because it's just a box that says Dracula on it. I'll turn it the right way up. There you go. And of course, it's the classic Coppola. Bram Stoker's Dracula. He isn't Dracula, he's the writer, but I'm not going to split hairs. Because I used to say Bram Stoker's Dracula, is he poor lad, right? But seriously, there's a lot of kits that came from that, some beautiful kits. This is a particularly good one.
One of the finest.
One of the finest, and it kind of like, it sums up all that kind of gory sexiness, doesn't it? The film. It's a film that Coppola decided Coppola wanted to make a Hammer movie. That was what he did. That's why a lot of the effects look a little bit sort of like the model of the castle and stuff. He wanted to make a modern Hammer movie. That's why he's filmed it like he did. And I think he
brilliant.
achieved that.
I think it's one of the best Draculas.
And got Oldman.
Yeah.
He knocked it out of the park, didn't he?
Quality.
He did.
Quality.
So who? Let's talk. Who made it first?
The first kit in the stash that Bill's looking at today. Yeah. This is the first time we've seen it for a while.
I've seen it build up. At hundreds of shows in the past.
This is the cellar cast, and it's the Dracula and Mina, or Dracula Mina, I think it is. And this is.
So
there we go.
Once again, this is the bit, but I think this has got such a fine detail on. You'll be able to appreciate this. This is I think Mina, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like the rape scene, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in the form of a wolf, and you can see that there he is. She's looking gloriously happy, and he's looking very hairy, and it does look like the Oldman effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look at the detail.
The detail on the fur there.
Can you catch them guys on this one? I mean, we've not done this intentionally. This is like sun damage, so it's
because it's an old kit, isn't it? And at the bottom of the kit, it's in the bottom of the box, as you can see, it's slightly paler than the top of the box. There's been some UV damage there, and as you can see, it's got its own base and several other parts. So this is it's a pretty massive kit. It's like a marble plinth that they're sort of doing their shenanigans on. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks like a Renaissance sculpture.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it,
take it off there.
She's very, very tastefully done, guys.
Yeah,
if you look very carefully there, very tasteful as well. Not much nudity. Look how delicate them fingers are.
Yeah, that's an amazing piece. Casting is superb. Isn't it?
I mean, I think this. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, look at the likeness as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Great likeness. Superb. I mean, this is what when I've seen this kit it must be 20 years ago. Yeah, I've got to have it, and we managed to get on. I mean, just look at the
look at the size of the base. Look
at that.
I mean, it's true. It's truly good. Do you know what this reminds me of? And it even though it's sculpted, it almost looks like it's drawn in 3D. It's like it's drawn. It's like almost like if there was an artist doing this, it would be like something like Bernie Wrightson or something would have drawn something similar to this. The famous Bernie Wrightson. It isn't anything to do with him, but the way that fur moves and everything, it's just made a face.
Superb.
In fact, the detail's so good on this. It doesn't matter about the resolution. You can actually see. You can actually see it, can't you?
This is by Cellarcast, and it was really popular in the day. No instructions with it, but you don't
really need it, do you? I mean, the bits fit absolutely superbly.
Yeah.
I mean, the location. Together, doesn't it? Well, I mean, I probably wouldn't. I'd have probably just left it in the box forever. Because I mean, it's just
look
great.
At that. It's a little. That is a superb kit. If you've got this kit, you'll appreciate how good. There you go. That's beautiful.
There's the basics of it. I mean, he's missing an arm and stuff, but look at the way that they fit together.
Let me just move that to one side.
It's just incredible. Look at that. It's like some sort of Renaissance art. I mean, I've seen some Michelangelo sculpture in the Vatican, and it's beautiful. And it's carved out of marble. This looks like it's carved out of marble.
It's pretty sure that was Steve West.
Steve West, right. Well, absolutely superb. You got a couple more there, haven't you?
I've got a couple more before we go any further. While Bill puts that away.
I'm going to put that away very carefully.
Anybody who was around in the 90s will remember this. This to me is a must-have, or was a must-have in the day. This was one that Haunted Iron Low for. This was out by this. That's how they came in our day. Just a little white box with stick with the artwork on. These were absolutely superb. This was sculpted by a guy called Randy Bowen. I was after this for so long. I had it and then sold it when I had a divorce, and I ended up. Some guy offered it me again, and I snapped his wrist off. So I'm going to open it up for you now. I don't think since I bought it about 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, look at that! Look at that old-fashioned resin. So this was from a company called Geometric.
Geometric.
This is definitely old school resin. Look at that old school resin. It's got the big base.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, single-sided cast.
Look at that.
Yeah, single-sided cast. Absolutely wonderful. Look, I tell you what though, I know it's old school, mate. They're detailing that.
I mean, this is the part at the end. If anyone that's seen Vengeance of the Demon, this is the scene at the end where he comes crashing through the. I think it's a church. I think it's
an old wooden church, isn't it? It's like in the middle of the south of them.
There you go, that's Pumpkin. Look at that. I mean, now this is a point. Go on.
Well, I was just thinking, it's Pumpkinhead, isn't it? And it's one of those movies that the monster's much better than the movie. Wow,
Look at that.
Look at the way that goes together. I mean, it's just lovely. In fact, that's a great way of doing it, isn't it? Because that you only need a little bit of filler on that, and that's going to be invisible, isn't it?
How good is that?
It's amazing.
That's
you know what? It could. This if somebody told me if this was assembled and somebody told me that this was styrene, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Now this was sculpted by a guy called Randy Bowen in the early days of the hobby. Now Randy did a lot of the statues, the DC statues, but he also did some garage kits for George. George is a really cool guy, and his company was Geometric. This was one of the few resins he did. He's not Geometric anymore. He's developed his company now, and he's Black Art. I'm not sure whether this is still available. I'm pretty sure it isn't, but it's got that old school feel. You can see. I mean, I don't mind this, but you can just see the slight seam lines. I don't really mind.
I don't mind the seam lines. I like to see the construction value on it. You know, I mean, look at that. I mean, look at the feet and the toes. Yeah, you probably got. If you have a look at the base as well, you can just see there where it says Pumpkinhead on the base. Very subtle, but that has the texture. That's a lovely wooden texture.
And then you've got the obviously the very fragile fingers. I think. Look at that.
I mean that's a piece. That's a bit of an art in itself, isn't it? How is that? It must be pressure cast. That surely.
I don't know, mate. I mean, I guess it's early days. I don't know if it was, to be honest. And it's also got the locating pegs there, the female locators to go on the males there. So this is an absolute
very
classic.
delicate.
I mean,
delicate.
I'd have loved to acquire. I would have loved to have acquired the rights to do that. I mean, look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, there you go. What gets me about these sculpts though is they're so three-dimensional, aren't they? They're flying through the air. It's like they're proper 3D. It wouldn't matter which way that you displayed this, because on the wall both sides have got equal amounts of detail.
Tail and everything. So this is a classic. So this is George did 2 pumpkin heads. He did this one, and he did the pumpkinhead metamorphosis, which was your style.
Oh mate, I just love an instruction sheet. I've got hundreds of these from models all over there. I've got tons of these instructions. I never throw my instruction sheet away. To me, it's a piece of art in itself. And when somebody does this, it's a little bit of a cheeky nod to the old styrene kits. It's a little bit like the old Aurora movie classic monster sheets, isn't it? Absolutely no construction needed whatsoever other than 4 limbs, but it's still worth putting the sheet in. Everybody knows how it goes together, but it's just so brilliant, isn't it? It's just lovely. And you've got this little bit in there that tells you how the rest of the scene goes together.
That's right. And it even gives you colours.
Suggested colours.
Yeah. And then it says it tells you the stuff that they do, and it, like geometric.
Yeah.
Now this was when George Stevenson was Geometric that this kit was available. As I said, guys, I'm not sure whether it's still available. It is a beautiful piece. It kind of won't be available in this sort of format. If it is, I think another gentleman's bought the old Geometric moulds for these. I'm not sure.
Does that say 1988? It says 1988.
Wow. Yeah, 1988. Is that the film? Yeah, Pumpkinhead. 88.
Wow, that is just like, I mean, that's like a little fanzine, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a fanzine.
So that's the license for Geometric Pumpkinhead. And then the original sculpture by Randy Bowen and the artwork, I thought it was a different guy, but it was by a guy called Jim Gorman, whichever. So that's that one, guys. So if you ever see that box anywhere,
get it,
because it's well worth the money.
You know what? I saw one of these last year at the show.
You didn't?
I did. There was a guy in the corner just near the Star Wars guy that was selling really old kits.
Should have got that, mate. Should have got that one. It's well worth it.
I think it had a missing piece, though. He said it had a missing piece.
No, I'll have it. If it's there this year, I'm going to see. I want to see. Next up, guys, this is what I remember this kit when I went to Chiller Theatre many moons ago. Basically, this was doing the rounds there. This is the Edward Scissorhands one. And this was sculpted by Paul Komodo. I mean, look at that. Bill's gonna love this.
I love it. Look, it's got a staple in the corner. That is hardcore garage. That is. He's photocopied this in the library.
Yeah.
I reckon. He's got the library and he's given them 50p and they photographed them.
Oh, good.
Look at that. It's drawn with a biro.
How good's that?
It's drawn with a biro, but it's
is
brilliant.
amazing.
That's a piece of art in itself, Dave. You could frame that.
Yeah, we should start a Garage Kit museum, shouldn't we?
Yeah, a garage kit. This would definitely be in it, wouldn't it? And it's. I loved this kit when I first saw it, because when I first saw it, I was marvelling at the detail on the clothing.
Yeah.
I mean, the complexity of it, to sculpt those little laces in that. I mean, this predates the availability of 3D printing, doesn't it? This predates it. Look at that. And if you look at the back of the corset, I mean, I think I was going out with a girl at the time who was into the goth stuff, major goth stuff, and she was madly into Edward Scissorhands. And I remember looking at this kit and thinking, love it, but I think at the time I couldn't afford it.
Very expensive, wasn't it?
It was at the time.
What I like about this is, guys, you're seeing like a snapshot of time, and basically, if you look at the top of the head,
you can see where the
spots in. You guys don't know you're born.
Don't you only born because you don't have to clean up any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's a little bit of a hollow in there that probably wouldn't go out these days, would it?
No. I mean, if you look at this,
I mean, I don't care, do you?
No. I think that's part of it.
I mean, the thing about garage kits for me when I first started.
Oh, this is what I love to see. Look at that. Little air pockets.
Air pockets.
Oh, it's fantastic, guys. This goes to show that this is an original, one of the original garage kits when I started.
Yeah.
Because his work. I mean,
oh, look, there's even a
pole spout.
Yeah, pole spout on
Brilliant.
there. Runner and a riser. There you go.
Brilliant, that. Absolutely.
But
brilliant.
To me, part of garage is the fact that you sometimes have to work really hard to get a kit together.
This isn't that bad, though.
Oh no! I mean, you can see it's been designed.
Beautiful
It's
base.
been designed to work, but the problem is resin doesn't always pour how you want it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think it's a beautiful one.
That.
Paul Komodo. Paul did.
Oh, what I did. I mean, that's
superb,
lovely,
that.
isn't
I
it?
mean, look at the base. There's the base, guys. Look at that.
Yeah.
Got cogs on it for the machine.
Yeah, this is the laboratory. This is the laboratory at the beginning where Vincent Price's last movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vincent Price's last movie, where Vincent Price is trying to put the guy together, and he runs out of time and he dies, and he hasn't had time to do his hands, obviously. So that's how it is. But you can see all of this like paraphernalia on the base, very gothic, very Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Tim Burton was the director, obviously, but I think he wrote it as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he?
And here we go, guys. Here's the quality piece
Oh.
of the old kit. Bit of hair.
Real hair. And look how they tell you to put it together on the instructions. Look.
Absolutely brilliant.
Every couple of months you'd have to fluff that up, though, wouldn't you, mate?
Yeah.
You'd have to fluff it up. So there you go. There it is. There's the hair. I was expecting it to be a moulded clump of hair. No, it's not, is it? Maybe that hole that you poke the hair in, and then you sort of tease it out, mate.
Maybe we're overthinking it. Yeah.
I think we are. I think I'd probably get some milliput and do it myself.
Would you?
Yes.
I love it.
I can't be doing with the hair.
I love this. I mean, this is what it was about, guys. I mean, when me and Bill first started, this was what we were getting, and to me, it's quality.
But you know what?
It's quality. It's quality.
Yeah, but when you got when you imagine first getting this out of the box,
Both of
and
them,
all of them, the satisfaction you would have got knowing that you were perhaps only one of like 25 people in the whole country that had it, of the world that had it, and but also that bit in Spider-Man when Uncle Ben says to Peter Parker, "With great power comes great responsibility."
That's it, yeah.
And you got one of these. This is why they never get made. This is why they're still in the box, because you think, "Oh, I don't want to make a mess of that."
That's nice.
I don't want to make a mess of that.
That's really nice.
But it's lovely, isn't it?
That's really nice.
Yeah.
You don't see these very often, guys. Like I said, this was available at one chiller show that I went to, and I just like to see them. I just think they're great, and I think Bill's gonna.
Look, the hobby has always been green. Look at that. No plastic lambtails, mate.
No.
That is pure shredded paper. That is
Brilliant. Absolutely.
In fact,
brilliant.
if you reassembled that, this is probably the Times newspaper from 1880, isn't it? Something like that. But look, and you had to dig about. The other thing is you had to dig about in the box for the bits. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You go, I've lost a hand, and you get all of this out, and you put it on the kitchen table, and you go through it. Where's some metal parts? These are fingers.
Yeah, his fingers. Yeah.
White metal. Now this is like discovering a Saxon hoard in the middle of a field. This is like white metal hand and white metal blades. This was like white metal was the thing at one point, wasn't it? For detail, this would be 3D printed now, wouldn't it? Obviously.
Yeah.
But at the time, white metal, centrifugal casting, spin casting with white metal. Even people like, there we mentioned the name Warhammer.
Yeah.
Citadel Miniatures, that's right. Yeah. And it's Citadel Miniatures, nearly everything they ever made was made in white metal.
Wow, look at
until very recently. And those hands. Look at that. And look, you see, you couldn't... There's part of one of the scissors. Don't know if you can just... If I put it in front of my big forehead, you can probably just see that little loop on the scissor. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you would even now do that.
3D print it.
3D print it, yeah. But remember, a lot of miniatures were made that way, weren't they? That's how you got the detail on them. Yeah. Two vulcanized rubber molds.
Yeah.
Spin it inside the
like
rotator.
A frisbee.
Like a frisbee. Spins around. You drop the metal in the middle, and the centrifuge brings the metal to the end. And it's a little bit like pressure casting, isn't it? Yeah. But you know what? That's a
bit of history, isn't it?
That's a bit of history.
I mean, look at the blades, guys.
The
blades are superb.
Now, I challenge anyone to get them off there without bending them.
No, I'm touching them. No. The best way to get them off there, you know how?
Soldering iron?
Get Rach to do it.
Get Rachel. Get a female personage to do it.
You do.
Yeah, because I would be hammering this. I'd have everything. I'd have a grinder on this. I'd have me Dremel on that for hours.
But that was when that's what you did. That's what we did, isn't it?
There was no compromise, was there, in those days?
No, I mean,
no compromise.
These are some of the kits from across the pond. What we're going to do in a minute for you guys is show you some classics from over here. So basically, what we've got now is we've got some classics from this side of the pond. Yeah. Bill's going to talk you through this one.
Well, this one, let me just show you. I'll have to show you in parts. There's the first part. That is a walking stick with a wolf's head on. So anybody in the know will automatically be able to tell me what movie that's from. Because if I have to ever have a walking stick, that's what my walking stick's going to look like. I am, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have the wolf's head. I've actually seen one. I've seen one. They're expensive, but you can get them. Here's the base and the main figure, and as you can see, it's no surprise. We've got Lon Chaney Jr. there, standing up, looking really surprised. Obviously, this cane
goes through there,
goes into his hand. I'm not going to do it because Rachel spent ages painting this, but as you can see, it goes into his hand like that. But it's not just a figure of Lon Chaney, and it's a fantastic figure. Who's the sculptor?
Steve Thompson.
Steve Thompson, yeah. You can see on the base there, you can see the broken mirror. Now, what else comes with this kit? And I'm being very careful here because not only have these been pro-painted by Rachel, they actually belong to someone else, don't they? So this is a broken mirror, which fits on the base. Now, you can see that obviously it's the Wolfman from the Universal film, The Wolfman. And he's looking into a mirror, the mirror is shattered, and then coming through the mirror is this.
Wolfman.
The Wolfman himself. So you've got Lon Chaney and the Wolfman at the same time. So it's two kits in one. It's a lovely bit of stuff. And actually, I'm being very gentle here, but the wolf itself has his foot on the mirror and he's stepping through the mirror, isn't he?
He's jumping at him, isn't he?
So he's jumping at him through the mirror, and it's a beautiful, exciting scene, isn't it? It's a fantastic scene. It's not a machine. It's not a scene from a movie. It's like a concept. It's a concept. It's this duality of people's nature. That's and if you think about it, when this Wolfman movie came out, Freud and all of that lot and sort of psychiatry was kind of still in its infancy, wasn't it? So these kind of old stories about people turning into wolves and stuff, it was kind of as an almost interesting historical psychological thing behind it. And it's not my favourite Universal. It's my favourite Universal monster, but not my favourite Universal movie.
Film, yeah.
But the monster itself, Lon Chaney.
I thought the creature would have been yours.
Well, I always see that as kind of 1950s and later on.
Okay.
When I think Universal, I'm talking 1930s.
Okay.
30s and early 40s, just war and pre-war.
Yeah.
Because in the 1950s, the creature is my favourite creature.
Oh, right.
Because the creature's not supernatural, is he? the creature's a scientific evolutionary oddity,
Right.
which puts him in a different category to me. I have a categorisation,
Okay,
Dave.
I do apologise.
There's supernatural
I
monsters.
stand corrected.
No, I was like a man in orthopaedic shoes.
That's it. Yeah.
Right, but seriously, it's supernatural monsters to me are different to the 1950s
Right, okay.
monsters like the giant Gila monster and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and them and all that, because they're kind of scientific monsters, as is the creature, because he's like a throwback to the Devonian times apparently. So this is lovely.
This is 1/6 scale. It is
yeah.
by Steve Thompson, sculpted for us. It's still available. It's a 2-figure kit. It's an old one now, but it's still good to go. Big old piece. I think it's slightly over 1/6, but you know
it could be. It's very because when I looked at it, I thought
it's big, isn't it?
Yeah,
but then again, are we
big,
looking at it at the next one?
I mean, if you think of 1/6 being a foot tall, I think that's probably about right, isn't it? I have to be very gentle with this because, like I said, it's been painted up for a specific customer, so I'm going to put that back. I'm going to try very hard. I'm going to put that out of the way and take Lan out of the way as well.
There you go. There's the next one.
There's the next one. Look at that. I could sit for 20 minutes and just look at this because it is a thing of beauty and it is a joy forever. It's obviously Boris Karloff in his actual civilian role as a ordinary person sitting in his jumper with a tie on, with his hands crossed on a chair, looking into the gaze of the onlooker. But behind him is Boris Karloff again, and like the werewolf sculpt we've just seen, you get Boris Karloff as Karloff, but you also get him as the monster. So there's a definite relationship here, and the monster's got his hand on his shoulder. And I think there's a kind of, with horror stars, particularly Lugosi and all of those, and Chaney and stuff, and Lugosi, they kind of had good lives, but Lon Chaney was a drinker, wasn't he, at the end of his life, and Lugosi was addicted to prescription drugs. I think Lugosi was the only one that was actually happy.
Oh, right.
But he did have a sadness about him, I felt.
What was Karloff?
Karloff was English.
No, you say he had an addiction?
No, Lugosi had an addiction.
Oh,
Lugosi was like painkillers, I think.
Oh, right.
I think it was painkillers and stuff. But Karloff didn't. Karloff was one of the most normal.
Right, that's what I thought.
If we could call it that, and but he did have a sadness about him. I feel that all horror stars do. It's like clowns. Clowns are never funny.
No,
they're sad.
No.
And Karloff was not scary. He was just mild, in a sense. So when he went into monster mode and played the monster, it's actually a bit of really good acting that was never quite given the credence that it needed. Because you meet Karloff in the street. He's William Pratt. He's a normal guy. You meet him dressed as the monster, and he is a totally iconic being that you can't. Nobody else could do that. No one else could have ever done that.
This was done by a guy. This was done by Mike.
Turn it to the side.
Mike Hill. As you say, if I move this across again, this was done by Mike Hill. One of his classics. He has actually done a Lon Chaney Wolfman in a similar sort of style, which I will review later on down the road. It's still available. It's a lovely piece. It's not 1/6, guys. It's slightly small.
Slightly smaller, isn't it?
It's slightly smaller, but it's not a shelf killer. It's still available as
the figures. The figures are what, 8 inches, 7
9.
inches.
Yeah. So it's quite a nice piece. And this one is still available, but to me it's one of our universal classics. For some reason we seem to have, I don't know why, but the kits we're reviewing today on this side of the pond are Universal Monsters, which is weird, isn't it? Because we often
they're
talk
not in English in any way, really, are they?
No,
except maybe for the actors.
Colin
Clive, Boris Karloff,
Yeah.
English actors.
We often talk about the bias in the United States towards the Universals, but today, for some reason, the ones we're doing is Universal, which is nothing wrong with that. It's good.
I just need to point out the base on here, because the base on here is a real sleeper. You look at it and you don't really understand what it is at first, but then you realise that the base on this kit is a rolled piece of celluloid.
And then there's
which is kind of the creature and Karloff are bursting out of the film, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you've got this lovely little projector cog and stuff that's moving the celluloid here, and you've got the celluloid blanks as if the creature has come from the film, leaving the film blank.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, you could
put film posters.
Put film posters on it, but I think that's a bit. I think I like it like this.
You like that one, do you?
Yeah, I like it plain because the celluloid has come to life. Therefore, there's nothing remains on the celluloid.
Are you a green monster or a flesh-coloured monster?
I like my monsters grey and black and white, mate. But I am a green monster. If somebody has to say to me what colour was the makeup, the makeup in those days was green because it showed up better on black and white, didn't it?
That's the one.
And so the actual, if you look at publicity stills or studio stills at the time, which were colour, they were actually green, weren't they? A lot of the makeup. In fact, a lot of the makeup on the ordinary characters was quite expressionistic, but they didn't turn out on the black and white film. So that's it. That's beautiful, and it's got a delicacy and a poignancy about this. You know, you can really get to grips with the character of Lugosi himself on there.
Next one.
The next one is gigantic, but worth sacrificing a little bit of shelf space for. This is called Pure of Heart. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
It's obviously, if you're a movie buff like me, you'll know that Pure of Heart refers to becoming a werewolf. It doesn't matter if you're pure of heart, if you get bitten by a wolf.
Yeah.
When the wolfbane blooms. There's a little poem. It sounds like a really old-fashioned sort of like folk saying.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was actually just made up for the movie. I think it's attributed to somebody really important, but I think they just made it up.
Okay.
You know, and the gypsy tells him, doesn't she? Says you've been bitten by a werewolf.
That's it,
which is in fact what's Bela Lugosi?
That's it. It's a
gypsy who is the original werewolf in that. So in a sense, Lugosi turns up as a werewolf in the film before Lon Chaney.
There you go.
So there you go. So the original werewolf, Lugosi.
Like, look at this.
So look at this. This is Joe Bailey, isn't it?
Joe Bailey.
I can tell it's Joe Bailey just by looking at the female figure, because if you look at the delicacy with which that's done, the naturalistic, relaxed pose. This is from a publicity still for the movie of them in the woods.
Where Claude Rains comes.
Yeah, look at this.
How big is that?
You
think that's big? You wait till you see the base.
Yeah, this base is like just key, isn't it? This is just like a jigsaw piece. I mean, I just look at the movement on those clothes, like the red and the blue, and that. It's the contrast between the two really outlines the figure, doesn't it? Look at the contrast in the colours. It does actually emphasise the figure. This beautiful serpentine sort of quality to the way he's got his hand on her back. Obviously, he's a werewolf, but there's a gentleness to this. I would say that's a bit sort of. The gentleness of this shows the gentleness of the actual character, which is of the Lon Chaney character before he turns into the wolf. Lawrence Talbot, and there's a conflict in him, isn't there? Yeah. That's why he doesn't kill her in the end, because Lawrence comes out even when he's in the form of the wolf. So I think that has a symbolic nature that perhaps we don't. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I often think there's a symbolic nature to a lot of resin kits. It's not just what you see. It's what it means.
Definitely.
Give me that one.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. This one's 1/6 scale. This one's still available for yourselves.
With my arthritic arm, I can barely lift the rest.
It's a beast of a kit.
Is the rest of the
and
base.
Here's the base. So basically, let me lift that up. It clips together like that.
It clips together, and it's seamless. And I'm just telling you now.
We'll go down a little bit, Bill. There you go.
It's seamless. It is seamless. And I have to say, this is. You know what? If I was in a movie museum,
this would be nice.
And I saw that's worthy of a display case on its own.
Personally, I'd have the werewolf a bit greyer, because I think werewolves are wolves and werewolves.
Yeah, I'd have a bit of a grey sort of timber wolf kind of face to it, maybe. Yeah.
The customer wanted it quite dark, but I would have it. Yeah. I would have it fading at the front to grey. Me and Mike Hill, the sculptor of the last piece, have a bit of a thing about an issue about this. We both believe werewolves should be grey.
There you go.
So if you believe werewolves are grey or brown, in the comments below, guys.
Brown or grey, mate, any colour you like.
So what's your favourite werewolf, brown or grey? Put it in the comments below.
Wasn't there a blonde werewolf in The Howling? Did she turn into a wolf at the end? And she
turned into a big pussycat, didn't she?
She did. It was awful.
It was god awful. It was god awful. It was god awful.
So yeah,
it was god awful. Yeah, this one's pure art, guys. This one is still available. Again, them three are from Killer Kits. They're still available.
I mean, of course, the good thing about this is one of the things I love about black and white films is when you paint the kit, you can paint it any colour you want.
You could. I've seen this painted in black and white as well,
yeah.
but it looked really, really good. I think it's probably harder to paint it black and white, if I'm honest. But,
yeah, I've seen Lugosi Dracula in grey tones, and you think, wow, that's like coming out of the picture itself.
Yeah.
But beautiful.
So, again, guys, in the comments, do you prefer colour or black and white? What's your preference? Well, I'm glad you like these bits and pieces. We're going to show you some old classics and some new stuff as we go along. We're going to swap it about. We're also going to talk about the upcoming shows, because Bill's getting close to his first HorrorCon in May.
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to it. Again, guys, thanks for liking the videos. Subscribe, hit the notification bells, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah, I'm enjoying sitting behind the tree, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, lovely to see you.
Take care, guys.
Take care of yourselves.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
How you guys doing? Steve Kirkcullimore, and we're going to do another video
from across the pond.
Across the pond.
On UKGK site. But, as we stated last week, we're going to bring up the American Werewolf in London. One of our last ones for Giovanni Zorloza. We're working on other plans for future shows. But anyways, right now, I wanted to present this one. So, again, from American Werewolf in London. This was a little 3D print that I had purchased to
Did
go
you get
along
that
with
on
this.
Etsy?
I think it might have been off of Etsy. Yeah, someone
Got that
they were
for-
making them. Yeah, they could get them a different color.
Got that in the Halloween too, didn't you?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for this one, I thought when this wall hanger is all painted, right now it's just I primed it in two different colors, black and white. That looked cool underneath it, so that's how we're gonna put that one in there. And anyway, but yeah, this is so from the 1981
Rick Baker.
classic American Werewolf in London. What
He
such
hit
a cool movie.
Hit it hard. Hit it really hard on that one. Because then you had that, and then you had the Halloween in the same year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, werewolves were becoming a big thing, and then you had the slasher trend that was hitting it real heavy. I mean, good time for horror, 80s.
Well, and then on top of that, the special effects, Rick Baker, that was his breakthrough.
Yeah, because he'd done some other stuff before that.
But he
Lot-
never,
lot of
that's the
movies.
first time they ever did the actual animatronic facial, the transformation.
Looks so
expression
real,
now.
too. I mean,
That's the
it's-
first, and now it's all CGI, of course. But back
Practical
then it was-
effects. I know you guys love the practical effects.
Yeah. And
Saying nothing like
Did
it.
you know that was the groundbreaker there on that movie, on that scene where his face was stretching all out and transforming. It's pretty cool how they do that too a lot of times. So.
I love it with CCR playing in the background. See a bad moon rising.
So
This is a big, big piece.
yeah, like Pumpkinhead.
Um,
Again, not as easy.
size down, but
Not as easy to hold.
something you would have in your basement when you went hunting.
And I'm sure you guys have all seen this online, painted up. And people have done a fantastic job of it. Saul Alvarez and George Stevenson just did one. And
He did just
it
do
looked,
one, yeah.
It looked fantastic. Great job. And there's been Cynthia Zorloza, right from Zorloza Creations. Her beautiful piece. This is one of the first ones. This was the piece where I met Giovanni at the 1981 Wonderfest. And it was
1981? You mean 2018?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So in 2018, we went to Wonderfest, and there he was, right in front of us in line, and
Had us painted up. Yeah.
Bram Stoker's Dracula shirt, and right after that, it was like, bam. It was like PB and jelly.
But what a cool piece. I actually need to get this thing painted here pretty soon. I got so many other things in the works that I haven't made time for it. But beautiful piece. big.
I was
and
thinking,
heavy.
1981. I was like,
Well, I'm sorry. I was still thinking about when the movie came out.
I
right?
pictured when we were in line. I'm like, yeah, 1981. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and the year I graduated. Now I'm really showing my age. Yeah, I'm really showing my age.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all good. I said Henrietta on the last one. Remember?
Yeah, and it was
So
haggis.
Yeah, haggis. I said Henrietta, so we all have the moments. What was your favorite part of that movie? When do you remember seeing this movie, Dad, when you were younger? I mean, that was 81. That was your year. So.
Yeah.
I know you caught up on the horror movies.
It was
later.
a little later on, you know what I mean? When I got settled down after being a, teenager, early adolescent, a lot going on there. But anyway, yeah, so it was a little later on for me when I did get to see it. I all the way through I liked it. I liked the initial attack.
Oh yeah, with Jack
and
in the
David,
beginning,
yeah.
And
then I always enjoyed that when Jack kept coming back.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to call you Meatloaf, Jack. And matter of fact, I have the kit, and so does Steve, that we got from our good friend Dave Nicholson of Jack in the Chair with the Mickey Mouse.
And a really cool piece.
And we had yet to do those. That's a piece I wanted when I got into this hobby, and I started seeing Mon Killer kits and whatnot. I'm like, oh man, I never got it, and I figured almost 30 years later, it won't be available. Guess what?
I remember seeing it on Frontier Models. Remember,
Yeah,
right under the stairs.
Yeah. And so I was so happy to get that, and I'm looking forward to painting that one up because it's always a cool one. And the first time he sees it when he comes, I think it's the first time, right?
Yeah, he had the Mickey Mouse in his hand.
Yeah, he
sitting
woke
in the
up
chair.
and there he was.
Beware of the Moon. That was
Yeah.
the sign right there in the front of it. I didn't see that movie until I was a little older. Well, because of the nude scene. Remember, there was sex scenes, and then there was the porno theater at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one I would a little later when I seen it, but I loved it. It was very
That's
impacting.
the little one. Show that one through that. I forgot about this one.
Jeff Yeager. Oh no!
No.
Oh yeah. Mark Van Tine. Mark Van Tine. I don't know.
And I
why
was
my
still
brain's
kind of
skipping
on the. But there had the little label from the porno theater. This is why I love this piece. I have the drool in there. I am a drool master. I love drool. So that's on this kind of on the same scale on this is this big one, other than no base needed on the wall hanger.
Yeah, he did that one, and then he did the Eddie Quest. He did a few other ones. Mm-hmm. Has a really nice piece, though, that Mark Van Tine did.
So we had a little shorter episode today. We wanted to have another one to preview, but we actually got bypassed in the midst, so we'll have to catch up on that. And some future other producers and sculptors, we're working with them to, be able to preview their...
Put it out there more.
Review, not preview, but, review their fantastic pieces that they've done. So, anyway...
I mean, that's about it.
I think that's a wrap. Take care. And
enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, by the way, we're coming up with a little, I don't want to, no spoiler alerts yet, but we have a little surprise coming up hopefully in the next 1 or 2 episodes that we'll be talking about and being able to debut. So, anyway, with that being said.
You guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, I know you do.
Got a little spark in our eyes. Think about it.
So, all right, cool. Well, with that being said, you guys take care over there and over here and everywhere you are. Be safe, and we will talk soon.